my mum had this book. She's a piano player and musician. She has a book called the Jewish Fake Book, which is kind of a collection of well-known klezmer melodies. And I remember my mum and my brother sitting at the piano playing piano duets on these pretty basic tunes, really, from quite a young age. That was probably the first time I heard Jewish music, recognising it as Jewish music, because it said Jewish Fake Book on the front of the book. And then at some point, I decided that I would like to do something a bit more creative with it. And I started listening to a sort of what you might call a new wave of Jewish musicians, a lot of whom are playing in New York, who are dealing with this repertoire, but in the same way that jazz musicians, for example, are dealing with the jazz tradition. It's a very contemporary sound. It doesn't sound like traditional music. The instrumentation often is a lot more like jazz or rock groups. The sort of arranging and compositional ideas are sometimes closer to that sort of music, sometimes closer to contemporary classical in a way. So what's been interesting for me is listening and finding people who are dealing with that repertoire, but in the same way that they would deal with any other tradition, and contemporizing it. And in a sense, that's what we're trying to do with Sefiroth. So obviously with a 10-piece group, there's quite a lot of work to do to give everybody something to get their teeth into. And that's been really exciting because we've got a really interesting group of instruments and musicians who are bringing something to the table, including electronics, which is obviously quite far removed from that original instrumentation. Trumpet, saxophone, two singers, piano, percussion, tuba, electric bass, electric guitar, drum kit, and cello, violin. So none of it's original material on our behalf, but I guess there's so much recomposition and arranging going on that we're, in a sense, putting as much into it of ourselves as we would with an original piece of music.
Verás, veremos el amor que tenemos los dos. Ven, nos sonaremos.